What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So in the last episode, I left off about CFRC. So I actually left CFRC, the East Unit, and that night before they came and woke us up and told us we were being transferred, kind of had a feeling I was going that night. I mean, I didn't really know, but you know, when you're in there, you kind of feel that shit in your gut. So they did. They came and they woke me up. They took us all to the chow hall at the East Unit, and we're all lined up at the tables, and we're all trying to ask the guards, you know, like, yo, Sarge, what camp are we going to? Talking to them. And they wouldn't tell us. So we're like, dude, where are we going? Come on, man, tell us. And he's like, where you're going? You don't want to know where you're going. So we were like, what? So finally, he told us we were going to Gulf CI. So I'm sure a lot of people watching this know about the prisons in Florida. And the last place you want to go when you're being shipped is to the Panhandle. It's crazy up there. All those rednecks, they got the KKK up there. They're all inbred. They all live in a trailer park next to the prison. So I'm thinking in my head, like, damn, like, you know, I heard stories about the Panhandle. So now I'm like, yo, what is really going to go on there? So we get on the bus, we stop off at Butler, we stay there for a couple days. Butler, when you pull in there, you feel like you're pulling into another world. Like everything just looks ancient, like the Flintstones built the prison or something. It was crazy there. Luckily, I wasn't there for too long. So we finally get to Gulf CI. So when we pulled up, we got off the bus with all our property. They lined us up in a row. And the officer comes walking over to all of us lined up, and he's like, welcome to Weehawken, Florida, and we gon' hit ya. And I'm thinking, where did I just get? So we sit in TNR for a minute. They go through all our stuff. They finally tell us what dorm we're going to. So I get put into M dorm. So I was in M dorm for about, I don't know, a week and a half. And at the week and a half moment, they ended up moving some dude into our dorm that was from the main unit. I was at Gulf Annex, and this guy was from Gulf, the main unit at Gulf. So, like, right when he came in the door, I could just tell, like, I don't know. For me, when I'm in prison and I see someone, like, I already catch a vibe off of them just by the way their mannerisms are and the way they act. And I caught that vibe from this guy. So after a couple days go by, they ended up moving him right next to the bunk I was in. So I was in an open bay dorm, and I was at the corner bunk on the wall right near the officer station. And they moved him next to me. So I'm like, man, and like 2 more days go by, and I'm just like, man, I know that I'm going to get into it with this guy. I don't know what it's about, but it's going down. I can already feel it. So come to find out, dude was a booty bandit. So in Florida, you have sexual predators, and what they do is they try to find the weakest person in the dorm, and they try to exploit them by, like, finesse. They try to finesse them, or they'll just find somebody that's gay and try to get with them, or they'll chase other gay people they know on the compound around. So this dude used to wait in the morning. They call meds. So everybody in every dorm of the prison goes to the center gate to get their meds. And this guy didn't take meds, but he went out every morning because he was trying to see what the other gay dudes in the prison, the other booty bandits, were doing and who they were trying to get with and all that, like, drama shit that goes on when you're in there. If you've been in there, you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's so many. I don't have anything against gay people, but this is a different type. These dudes are predators. And he would go out and get into all that action. So they actually moved a punk into our dorm. And it wasn't your regular guy. It was like a guy dressed all like a girl, put baby powder on his neck, and did butt squats in the dorm, and, you know, on that hand flick type shit. And so he became obsessed with this punk. They moved into our dorm. So all day and before lockdown at night for Master Roster, they would just, all the punks would sit over in the corner and talk about how bad they wanted to get with that other punk. So in the morning, they call chow. So the punks would race to the chow hall to see who could get the coffee cake first to bring it back to the punk they all wanted to get with. So they were always all fighting over this punk. So anyways, this dude was also known for gunning, the guy that slept next to me that I'm talking about. And gunning in the Florida Department of Corrections, it is what it is. So what people do is they jack off to a female officer. Now sometimes the female officer will let him, and then she'll flip the script on him sometimes. So she'll let him at first, and then when they start doing it and she ain't feeling it that day, she'll call for backup and they'll go to the box for gunning. This guy was a gunner too that slept next to me. So about 9 p.m., they come around for master roster. They tell us to go to our bunks for a count. So the officer makes her rounds through the open bay dorm, and when she gets around and comes down to our bunk, she counts me as the last person because I'm on the wall. So she says, all right, everybody relax, because now she has to go through the officer station to the other side of the dorm to count them. So when she said relax, I immediately rolled over, and I was just going to chill for a little bit until they called count so I could get up. And I heard like some commotion, so I flip over onto my bunk to look the other way because I was facing the wall. And this dude literally is spread eagle with his pants down to his knees, and he's gunning her as she walks away to go into the other dorm. So I'm like, listen, bro, I don't know what you got going on, but I'm not living like that. This is my house right here, and you're not finna do that shit in front of me. Otherwise, we're gonna have some problems. So he's like, bro, I've been down for 15 years. This is how I'm living. I said, all right, well, this is how I'm living. So I put my shoes on, and I say, you know what? I'll grab the wall. So it's quiet in the dorm because we're at count. She told us to relax. No one's really doing shit. So I grabbed the wall. We end up getting into it. I didn't straight kill him and beat his ass, but I won. And then they came in as we were fighting and tussling, and they sprayed us both with mace. So we walk. I get cuffed up. I'm walking to confinement. They take him to medical because he got a cut and he was bleeding. And let me just be clear real quick for people that don't know. The last thing you want to do in prison is get in a fight with a booty bandit. A lot of them have that thing, the HIV. You really got to be careful. But at that moment right then, I was done. Like, you're not going to sit there and jack off in the bunk next to me where I'm sleeping. Like, that's a no-go. I'm just not going for that. So as I'm walking to confinement, I'm cuffed up. The officer's walking with me. The warden, they're taking me over across the compound to the T building. He's coming from the T building. So, I'm a bigger white dude. And he walks up to me and he's like, he asked me if I was an AB or I was the Unforgiven. And I wasn't. I never clicked up when I was in prison, never joined a gang. I was pretty much tight with everybody. Not everybody, but all the people you could be tight with. So I was like, no, I'm not. But he's like, well, that's a good thing you did, man. You ain't finna let him gun my white woman because they're all racist up there. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I go to confinement. I sat in there for like 20 days waiting to go to DR court. Went to DR court. Got 60 days. The dude that I got in the fight with, he ended up coming into confinement after medical. So the whole time I'm in confinement, I'm thinking, like, when I get out, like, we're going to go for round 2. Like, I just felt that vibe. And everybody in confinement was making fun of him. And so they were talking cash shit through the door and through the vents to him. So I was like, yeah, this dude's probably going to want some more when I get out. So when I was in confinement, you don't get canteen when you're in confinement. So you literally, your stomach eats your backbone. You're so hungry. And I was, eating mad commissary when I was on the pound. So going from that to nothing, you feel that shit. But the Sarge that worked confinement hated the dude that I got in the fight with because the dude that I got in the fight with was at the main unit. And he ended up getting into a relationship with one of the officers. And that officer was related to a lot of the other officers that were at that compound. So when they found out that what she was doing, they weren't feeling that. And so she cut it off with him. Well, he ended up right in Tallahassee and telling Tallahassee that she was bringing him in dope and phones and all this bullshit that wasn't true, because he was pissed because she wasn't giving it to him no more. So the officers started, putting down on the inmate that did that. And that was the dude that I fought. And he was hating life for a minute, and they ended up bringing him to the annex because of that. And then, bam, I get in the fight with him. Go figure. So in confinement, I'm getting ready to get out. It's been, I forget how many days it's been. Probably like 60, close to 60 days. 30 for the fight, 20 for the waiting to go to DR court. So I got out, and he gets released the same day as me. So we're in the T building getting ready to go out to the dorms that they told us to go to. And I'm looking at him like, what's up? Like, you want to do it here? Like, if we're going to do it, we're already here. So at least we'll just go right back into the cell. And he's like, nah. He's like, man, listen, I don't want any problems. Like, I didn't mean to disrespect you like that. But at that time when that was going on, I didn't know what to expect. Even after we talked after that, and he kind of copped deuces, and, he knew what he did was wrong. Even going back into the dorm on the compound, like, I was new to that compound. He had been there like 12 years. So, I had to stay on my P's and Q's because I didn't know, if he was trying to play it slick from that point on and then gonna, rush me with his boys afterwards. So, it was stressful for a little bit. I had to just, watch my back. And that's what happens when you're in prison. You think something's over, and then boom, they get you because you're not expecting it. So that went on for like 2 months, and I ended up getting shipped from Gulf Annex. So I just wanted to share that story because I hear a lot of people, talking about booty bandits and shit like that on YouTube. And, you don't want to fight a booty bandit. I'm not suggesting go do it. But when you're put in situations, and that's going to happen in prison, you can go to prison and say, like, I'm just going to do my bid. I'm just going to do my time. I'm not going to get into any shit. And it's so easy because you're around so many people in there that just don't give a fuck. And next thing you know, you find yourself in situations. And this situation that I'm talking about is one of those type of situations. What would you do if you were sleeping in a bunk and the guy next to you started gunning the officer right in front of you? I'm not on that shit. I wasn't on it. I've never been on it. I'm not on it when I know people are on it. So you got to ask yourself, if you're going to end up in a place like that. For me, when I went in and I said, no one's going to try me. No one's stealing my shit. I'm rocking all the way out when it's time. And that's just how I did my time. And I continue to do my time after that. And we're going to catch up on all those episodes because I'm going to be dropping episodes coming a lot. But I just want to thank everyone for subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on the like video. And with that, it's DOC TV. I'm out.